Greetings, fellow adventurers. This is Vexus, and welcome to this Let's Play of Gone Home. It's nice to be back from my break after Dragon Age 2. And for this Let's Play episode, I was looking for something that, of course, didn't need as much editing and overhead as my Dragon Age Let's Plays tend to be. So I was looking for something that was kind of contained and a bit more casual, and this game fit the bill pretty well. This is, well, I should say that when this game first appeared on Steam and I started looking into it, I had originally thought that this might be some kind of exploration horror game or something like that. It had a very dark and moody appearance. But I turned out to be somewhat mistaken. It does definitely have a moody atmosphere, but it's really a kind of an interactive story where you have to kind of piece things together. I wouldn't actually go as far as call it a strict adventure story, because there's really no puzzles in as much as just being able to access all the various areas of the house. So your main goal is not really to solve puzzles, but to really figure out what has been going on in this house by the time the protagonist has arrived. One of the reasons that I walked away really liking the game, however, is the overall extremely strong sense of nostalgia. So if you are someone who grew up in the 90s like myself, this is a very nice kind of trip down memory lane. The developers put in a lot of little extra details here and there that really kind of sell the time period that this game is taking place in. So I hope you'll enjoy yourself as you come along with me on this story. So let's get started. Only one game is saved at a time, so but I've already played all the way through, so I'm just going to go ahead and start a new game for all of you. Basic controls. They'll introduce a couple more controls, but this really is it. It's basically just moving around. And in that sense, it's very similar to Dear Esther, as far as game controls go.
Hi, Mom. So I got my ticket home from Europe. I get back on June 6th, but it's a really late flight because that was the cheapest, so it gets in at midnight. But don't worry, I'll get a shuttle from the airport so you don't have to pick me up. Like, really, seriously, you don't have to. Okay, so, love you. See you soon. Bye.
June 7th, 1995, 1:15 a.m. So, as you can see, right off the bat, even the loading screen itself is an old audio cassette. And that pretty much sets the overall aesthetic for the rest of the game. Like before, with Dear Esther, it's really, like I said, it's just the moving controls around here. Although there is a lot more interactivity in terms of being able to pick things up. So for example, you can open these doors here. And you can also zoom in with the mouse a little bit, just to give you a little bit better look at things. Looks like some old Christmas decorations, along with a Christmas duck. And you can see underneath it is a key. Chances are we're going to need that. Oops, I missed the cabinet. Clicking it again, anywhere else will tend to just toss it down to wherever it ends up. But the nice little detail here is that you can always place things exactly back where you found them, and then it doesn't look like you're just ransacking the house here. So there we go. Put it away. You can also rotate and examine things if you want to, like we have with this cup. And every now and then you'll find something interesting if you rotate an object around. And this, I mean, there really is very little introduction. The only thing we got was that answering machine message about being back. And so we can assume that we are, in fact, that girl who is speaking in the audio phone message. And if we zoom in here, you can see that it looks like our name is Caitlin Greenbrier from Portland. So if we're heading home, that's probably where we are now. Flight number 270, date June 6, 1995. Now you notice that I believe the date that was just given was July 7th. So chances are she put this name tag when she left. And that means we've been gone almost exactly a month. Also notice that we have a foreign flag here. So, looks like we may well have been traveling out of state. There's an airline logo there. Also, it sounds pretty stormy outside, and this is part of the moody atmosphere. You can see the rain is streaming down the windows. And that's going to be the case for pretty much the entire game. It's going to be pretty rainy out there. We can turn on the light. Yes. Okay. Most lights in the house are off, so I'll probably spend a good amount of time just turning lights on to see around the place, but we don't want to waste energy, so let's turn that back off. And we have a note here. Oops, that's too much. Let me... Nope. I want to get to fill the screen here. Katie, I'm sorry I can't be there to see you, but it's impossible. Please, please don't go digging around trying to find out where I am. I don't want anyone, although she first wrote Mom and Dad, to know. We'll see each other again someday. Don't be worried. I love you, Sam. Huh. So, of course, as you may expect, since the Sam is requesting that... Nice thunder. Sam is requesting that we don't find out where she is and what happened. That's pretty much exactly what we're going to do. So in we go. Shut out the storm here. I don't know why we're just leaving our bags out there, but maybe we figured this is more important. We also have an inventory screen where we can see various items. Here indeed we have our passport. So here's a picture of Caitlin. Mocked up to look like a photograph, although you can tell that it's a it's actually drawn image here. Date of birth, December 12th, 1973. And just expiration date other than that. We have a boarding pass. So departure from Amsterdam, destination Portland, via Cincinnati. And we have the spare key that we picked up. This is your map, and it gets updated as you wander around. And also there are journals that are being left behind by Sam. And we will be hearing them as we progress through the house. So let's see. First, let's turn on some more lights here. Now, not everything you can interact with, although there is a whole lot of things that are not really in particularly like advance the story or give you any clues. Again, some of these will just end up being very nostalgic and don't really serve much else purpose in the game. Nothing of interest. Oh, nope, we have a note. Destinations to work from new house. Left on Grabtree? It's either Grabtree or Crabtree. Right on Bullhorn, exit onto 47 North, right onto 202 East. Entrance on right, past Wage Road. Travel time, 1 hour and 10 minutes? Alright, so that means that this must be a relatively new house for the family. Nothing of interest there. Nothing of interest there. Now again, you may hear incidental noises every now and then as we wander around. And again, that also kind of made me wonder as I was first playing whether this might kind of slowly slide into the horror genre. But it never actually does, so you don't need to worry about any, slender men in suits coming out or possessed animatronics or anything like that. Okay, open folder, read invoice. Boxes, 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 boxes. Okay, so this looks like from the moving company that helped the family move to this new house.
Dear Katie, so much has changed, even just since you've been away. We moved into this house. I'm at a new school, and my big sister being gone for a year doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't feel real, but I'm not gonna let it faze me. I used to tell you everything, and if I can't do it in person, because you're off gallivanting around who knows where, I'll tell it to this journal, just like I was talking to you.
And we will indeed be hearing from Sam quite a bit. At the moment, it seems suggestive that Sam is Caitlin's sister. Let me look at this again because... Oh, nope, I had it wrong. Okay. June 6th is actually when she left for home. So that was just yesterday's date, really. Okay. Because Sam just mentioned that she's been gone for a year. So that means she must have left in June of 1994. That sounds right. Turn on the light here. See, very old-fashioned light switch there. So this seems to be an old house. Turn on faucets, but it doesn't really serve much purpose. Sparkle green apple. Scented soaps. Towels. More towels. Magazine. We have an author magazine. Stephen King. Going strong. Around this time of history. And the idea of author and, writing and stuff like that is going to be kind of a running theme here. Toilet paper. And Band-Aids, along with cleansing powder. When I was growing up, I used to always call it baby powder. Alright, that's all that's in here. Let's close the door. Alright, now, I think I'm going to check this room here, but then from now on I'm going to use my standard adventuring trope, which is to always go to the left. That should get us around most of the areas that are so far accessible. So do we have a light switch out here? Oh no, we have a light right here. There we go. Zoom in on the badge here. And we have Janice Greenbrier. So that might well be the mother of this family. Forestry Service. Senior Conservationist. And school jacket. Goodfellow High School. With an owl as the mascot. Over the Alps. A novel trading game. I wonder if Caitlin played that back in her childhood, and that gave her the interest to want to go to Europe. or overseas. I mean, although we know at least at this point that it must at least be partly in Europe, because she came from Amsterdam. Oh, something's back here. Have a doggone cool 17th birthday. Happy birthday, Sam, from Uncle Harvey. Huh. Okay, so there's an uncle involved. Some of these lights I plan to leave on just because it'll help us get around the place. Ah, itinerary. Worldwide timetable. Ah, yes, here's our confirmation. Katie's departure, July 6th, 1994. And it was to Amsterdam. It's a magic marker? Not quite. Maybe a parody of one. Only a few, a very small subset of the items will actually go into your inventory. Read a note. Sam, Daniel from the old neighborhood called. He wants to come back. He wants to come see the new house. Call him back. Mom, Daniel is a total weirdo. The only reason I ever hang out with him in the first place is he has a Nintendo. He had a Nintendo when we were little. How many times did we hang out with our friends and we were always asking, can I play your Nintendo? Or your Sega, you know, whatever your preference was. It's got a busy signal. Although it's not like we've called anybody, so that's a little strange. Now this looks like a family portrait. Sam, Katie, Mom, and Dad. And helpfully for us as players, they've gone ahead and put in the names. So Mom is Jan, or probably for Janice, and Terry. Perhaps short for Terrence. Can open... Oh yeah, I already checked those. Those are empty. Check the answering machine.
Sam. Sam. Hello. Sam. Sam, where are you? Really? I need to talk to you. Please be there.
Hi, Mom. So I got my ticket home from Europe. I get back on June 6th, but it's a really late flight because that was the cheapest, so it gets in at midnight. But don't worry, I'll get a shuttle from the airport so you don't have to pick me up. Like, really seriously, you don't have to. Okay, so, love you. See you soon. Bye.
Alright, so that last one was the one we heard at the beginning, so that is Caitlin's voice, or our voice as the player. But the first two were for Sam, and were not the same voice. So that was not Katie, that was someone else. The question is who? Yeah, so we can just zip to our map here like the tutorial message says. Gone through the front porch and the foyer. This is a rather large place. We have a button. Heavens to Betsy with a cross section of an actual anatomically correct heart on it. And a note. Welcome, new student. We hope that you are excited about your first day at Goodfellow High School as we are. Please be sure to bring the following with you on your first day of classes so that you can get right into the swing of things. One sturdy folder with pockets for each of your 6 class periods, one lined notebook per period, or one large notebook with 6 divided sections. At least 6 pens, blue or black ink, and 6 pencils. One box of colored pencils, a standard combination lock for your assigned locker, a nutritious lunch, or $2.50 for a lunch provided by the school cafeteria. A positive attitude. Please remember to get plenty of sleep the night before and be ready for the first bell to ring at 8 a.m. See you soon and again welcome. Beth Valence, Principal.
Oh my god. You are so lucky you finished high school before we moved into this house. So, it's the first day of school, and there I am, introducing myself to the class, and I say that I just moved into the house on Arbor Hill. All of a sudden, every kid in the room turns and just stares like I suddenly transformed into a mutant. I just stood there, wishing pretty hard for a rewind button. Because now maybe nobody knows my name, but they all know who I am. The Psycho House Girl. Great.
The awkward situations of moving to a new school. Ooh, a pack of cards. Arechi, huh? With a lotus on it. I always had bicycles when I was growing up. Actually, I think a lot of people still have bicycles. Well, let's see. Oh, that's annoying. I got a little bit of slowdown there. Well, let's see. There's a photo. Oh, I can't. That's really bad light. There we go. Okay. So a girl with pink hair, but wearing a military uniform. Perhaps that's Rotzi. DeSoto is the surname. No label, though. And we have an obituary. Oscar Doc Mason, I guess is how I'll pronounce that. I'm not sure if that's right. Oscar Mason, 60, of Boone County, died peacefully last month in his home. Mr. Mason was born on September 8, 1933, in the house that would be his home for the rest of his life. He attained his degree in pharmacy at a young age and returned to Boone County to practice. He quickly became a well-loved figure at the center of the community. In the decades preceding his passing, he was seldom seen outside his home. A service will be held this Sunday at the First Methodist Church at 1 p.m. All are welcome. His survivors include his nephew, Terrence Greenbrier. That Terry is short for Terrence. As well as, in spirit, the people of Boone County to whom he provided wellness and comfort. Okay. So that would be Katie and Sam's great-uncle. Great-uncle Oscar. We have a postcard. You'll notice that Katie will actually sometimes comment on the items instead of just naming what the item is. So this is a postcard that she sent from Paris. August 2nd, 1994. Hi, Mom, Dad, and Sam. I'm in Paris. I have done many Parisian things, including eating le petit déjeuner. Sorry, I can't. My pronunciation is terrible. And wearing a beret. I'm going to have lots of film to develop when I get back. Sam, I'm bringing you back something from the Shakespeare Book Company, since you are my favorite sister. Love you all, Katie. Mom, Dad, and Sam, number 1 Arbor Hill, Boone County, Oregon, 97141, USA. And, of course, they've moved to the new place, so Caitlin says it's a very strange address that they have now. Also, we know that this is Portland, Oregon, as opposed to other Portlands, which do exist in the U.S. Some people may, say jokingly that it was obviously Oregon because of all the rain outside, but, it could have been Portland, Maine. You don't know for exactly sure. I guess another clue could possibly be that their mom works in the Forestry Service, which I'm pretty sure that, given the size of Oregon, it's going to have substantially larger areas of forestry than Maine would. Now this definitely looks like a office or a study. Oh, way up here is a bottle of Irish whiskey. Terrence is starting to seem like perhaps a very stereotypical writer. I have a book here. Again, the light is a little bad, so let me bring it over here. That's a bit better. Benjamin Almond, The Killing of JFK, a Theory. You've seen the movie, now discover the truth. An important new look at the circumstances surrounding one of the greatest tragedies of our time. Ah. Perhaps Terrence is into conspiracy theories. Ooh, look at that pro throw right there. I like the fact that it even made the chair rotate. That's some nice, very subtle physics simulated here. It's not super flashy, but I can still appreciate it. On the bulletin board. Sent back in time to Dallas, 1963. What if JFK wasn't JFK? Early spaceflight to a utopia. A U.S.-USSR coalition. I'm starting to think that all of these may be either various ways of trying to construct conspiracy theories or ideas for a book. Or I guess technically it could be both. Highlighters. Don't recognize that particular brand, although again, I think a lot of these brands might just be designed, of course, to look like the types of brands that were active in the 90s without having to worry about anyone suing them. Here we have it, a paper, and look, it's an electronic typewriter. Oof, it's been a long time since I've seen one of these. Pioneer CLD-D730 Combination Laserdisc Compact Disc Player. Manufactured suggested retail price of nearly $1,000. Wow. Back when CDs and Laserdiscs were this brand new, amazing, expensive thing. Remote with backlight, double-sided play, headphone output, display on-off. Yep, just a whole bunch of specifics there. I'm not going to read all of them. They say that Jack of all trades is a master of none. I have to disagree. Mastery is not a question of specialization, but sureness of purpose and dedication to craft. If you happen to be in the market for a combination LD-CD player, you'll be glad to know that the Pioneer seems to share this particular, and he didn't finish it. Sounds like a review for that particular player. Ooh, crumpled pages. John Russell opened his eyes and saw them, the stars, twinkling as if he were lying on the grass in his family's yard in Massachusetts, even though that place was 1,000,000 miles away. No, he blinked the sleep from his eyes, looking through the carbon-reinforced safety glass of the space station Archimedes. Yes, he was a long way from home, but the future needed him. John Russell's head swam. He felt incredibly drunk, despite not having touched a drop in hours. He vomited once onto his feet, his bare feet. He stared for a moment. Then it's printed over here. Processing his sick black toenails, scanning up his bare shins, bare knees. He was completely naked. He looked up and met the eyes of, a gorgeous blonde woman wearing a tight polymer fiber tunic. Then fabric that stained at the seams to contain her generous bosom was emblazed with the phrase, "Matter Transfer's Operator." Then he passed out. Okay, and number 3. John Russell had crossed the gap in time. Only messages had passed before, but now, man, they needed him, now more than ever. Changing the past was no longer good enough. The instructions from the council had been clear. what to procure, what to construct from it, and how to assemble it. So he made the machine, how to transfer him bodily across time, and now he stood there on the bridge of the starship Archimedes, command of the vessel, because only he who had saved the president's life twice before he could helm the naive crew to their destiny, the fate of the galaxy. So it looks like he's trying to come up with story ideas, but you can see that as things progressed, there was more and more mistakes, both in spelling, grammar, and typos. So it kind of makes you wonder whether he was starting to get a bit tipsy as he was trying to come up with these ideas from all that whiskey. 3-ring binder, and there's papers in it. But unfortunately, we're not able to access what those are. Notice there's a question mark here. That's actually because, if we just drop this on the floor, it's a false bottom. There's a letter in it. This is from this house, but it's sent to Terry, so maybe this was the family's original residence. Oof. Oh, nope. Oh, this is hard to read. Well, let's give it a try, shall we? August 10th, 1972. Dear Terence, I write on what I hope and imagine is a joyous occasion. News reaches me that you are newly married to a wonderful young woman. I have had more than a little time to consider my past and my family, and my thoughts have often lingered on your development and welfare on the 10 years since we last met. Your marriage gives me much reassurance in this regard. You are always welcome on Arbor Hill. I will understand something if you fail your something accepting this invitation. Yours very sincerely, Oscar Mason. So it's an invitation to visit basically this place from his uncle. Nothing there. Nope. And empty. And there will be a few occasions where we will find these kinds of hidden things to pull out. And as you might expect, they're the ones that are most strongly linked to what's going on in the house, or what has been going on. Turn on the fan if we want. You get a hum there, although it's a little annoying, so I'm just going to turn it back off. Although I can imagine why he has it in here. It is July. Or, I'm sorry, it is June, I think. Electrical inspection form. Terrence Greenbrier for this house. And entire electrical system meets local codes, yes. Are there any deficiencies? Unclear. Wiring in-house is technically up to safety and amperage requirements. However, multiple layers of wiring have been added into the structure over the last 100 years. System is frequently unpredictable. Lights blink out for no clear reason. Pressure on floorboards and door frames disrupts circuits wired directly behind the surface. Properly reworking the electrical system would be highly destructive to the walls, floor, and fixtures of the structure. After discussion with Mr. Greenbrier, since there are no current safety concerns, issues will not be addressed. So that is the explanation given for why, as we wander around, the lights occasionally kind of flicker on and off. Although the fact that there's a lightning storm outside is probably not going to help it much. Need a combination for this top drawer. Nothing in particular of interest in the bottom two. See if we can get the lights on in here. This must be the library. Although I guess the map can tell us sufficiently. Yeah, Dad's office and library. Huh, okay. It's like a popular culture magazine of some type. 90210, does anybody still care? So there's some real references here, not just parody references. Storm's still going strong outside. These cabinets are slightly open. What we got in here? Dad's second, I think so, let's see. I think she said Dad's second book. Yep, Terrence Greenbrier, The Accidental Pariah. Some light here. There we go. A message from our future saved the president's life once, but within the next 24 hours there will be another attempt and the lines of communication are down. So he's wrote a thriller, and Katie at least seems to like it. Something is different though under the books. Oh, that's awkward. Yep. We found a stash. The secret stash. And the fact that it belonged to her dad is probably something that she's going to try to erase from her mind as quickly as possible now. Oops. Shoot, I meant to turn that over. Stranger Under My Roof. Best-selling advice for book for parents of teens. The teen years are fraught with change of all types, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. But these changes don't just affect your teen. Your teen's turbulent years are a challenge for parents as well, maybe the biggest challenge you've yet faced since having children. This book holds insights into your teen's behavior, from the very beginning as he or she first enters adolescence, up to the end of the teen years as he or she enters young adulthood. The practical strategies here are based upon well-tested principles of pediatric psychology presented by Dr. Elisa Medina, herself a mother of 2 teenagers. Prepare to gain new tools for establishing a productive, healthy, and loving dialogue with the stranger under your roof. Oops. Darn. Oh, hey, but it landed upright. Awesome. So it may well be that either just Sam or Sam and Katie have been having some tension with their parents. Also, you'll notice that I'm not reading absolutely everything, and that's simply because I think that this would be a Let's Play that would be much longer than it needs to be if I read absolutely everything. So I'm trying to keep it toned down a little bit. Here, you notice the inside 0451. And if you guessed that that might be the code to the top cabinet, congratulations. November 1st, 1994. Less than a year ago. Dear Terrence, David asked me to write you regarding the reviews you've been submitting the last few months. Frankly, they're becoming more trouble than they're worth from an editing standpoint. There's a word limit. It's your job to stay under it, not mine to cut back to it. Even then, it's becoming harder and harder to weed out the tangents and non sequiturs from the usable copy without heavy rewrites. The readers of Home Theater Aficionado want to hear about the quality and value of the hardware, not ruminations on your childhood. If it were up to me, I wouldn't be writing this letter. I'd just be cutting you loose. There's tons of guys half your age who would take half your rate to write stuff I could actually use. But David's known you for a long time, and he's the boss, so I'm giving you one more shot on his say-so. You should write him a nice note thanking him for his patience and generosity. Look through your old stuff and start submitting reviews like that again. Then everybody will be happy. Brent Kurtwood, Reviews Editor, Home Theater Aficionado Magazine. Sounds like Terrence, or Terry, is getting a bit fed up with just writing reviews. Anything else near the top? Don't see anything. It actually has been quite a while since I played through this game, so and I'm pretty sure I didn't get everything of interest on my first pass through. So there's still a chance I might be surprised by some items along the way here. Go ahead and turn this one off. Don't think we'll be... Well, we may be back here. Let's just leave that light on. Just in case. There we go. Seen everything in here. Again, we'll just leave the main light on there.
Flood conditions are expected at lower elevations.
Ah, it's the TV that we just heard there. I remember that freaked me out a little bit when I first heard it off to the side hallway when I first played the game.
This is a severe weather warning. The Northwest Weather Service reports high winds and torrential rain conditions affecting the following counties: Austin County, Boone County, Dawn County, Tacoma County, and Wistaria County. Residents are strongly urged to stay indoors and secure all windows and doors. Flood conditions are expected at lower elevations.
And then it just repeats off from there. So we'll just go ahead and turn it off. We'll turn on the actual lights here. Okay, oh, turn this on. Ah, some VHS tapes. Looks like blank ones there. Grab a cassette. And we can actually put it in and play it. Sounds like some punk music. Of course, I'm not an expert, so if that's not that belongs to that specific genre, I apologize. Not particularly my cup of tea, but, you know, to each their own. Oh, and the tape is called, looks like the group may be called Girl Scout, and Role Model is the name perhaps of the album. And we're going to find a number of these as we go along, all playing different songs. And that also will play into the story. Got a letter here. First, let's see what it's next to. This is... Ah, yes, I believe this is the first one that he wrote. November 21st, 1963, John Russell knows that the president's life hangs in the balance, but who would believe him? So it's clear that Terrence was a successful writer for a time, but perhaps he hasn't had luck recently. February 3rd, 1978. Terry, hey man, how have you been? I know you're a published author and everything now, but my editor at Hi-Fi Aficionado has too much review work to go around, and he's looking for another freelance. Naturally, I thought of you. You were saying in your last letter how much of a pain it's been trying to find a publisher for your latest work of literature, and writing stereo reviews is dead simple. Sit at home with a glass of scotch, listen to the same records, and write how it sounds, and then you get paid. I've included some issues of the mag to use as examples. If you're interested, send some samples to my editor, and tell him your old college chum, Mike, sent you. Here's the address. Do it! With Mike's signature there. So that was how he got in, I'm assuming, to writing reviews.